I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to qualifying in preparation for race 29 of season 7 of the NNSCRA Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. Playoff race number 3, elimination race number 1. That's right, at the end of this weekend, we will have whittled our playoff grid for the Cup Series down from 17 to 12 in preparation for the upcoming second round of the postseason. So we only know of one driver that is locked into said next round. The other 16 drivers are going to be vying for the 11 available remaining playoff positions, since we had a non-playoff driver go to victory lane last week in Michael Norman at Chatham Dirt. 42 drivers are going to be in this race, so we will have an expedited qualifying session here, especially since we've got the lights drivers back in town, and they're going to be taking to the track immediately following this qualifying session. So it'll be 15 minutes for these 42 drivers. Fastest 10 will move on to run for the pole position. Some drivers coming into this one have a good cushion between themselves and that 12th in the standings cut line, but nobody, with the exception of Matthew Rodriguez, mathematically is safe to advance into the next round of the playoffs. Keith Batson currently is second in overall points. That's the furthest up, or I'm sorry, Ryan Butcher rather, is the furthest up that you can possibly be as the current points leader of the playoff drivers that have not yet won their way into the next round, and he is only a total of 32 points ahead of the cut line, with 42, maximum of 47 points on the table here tomorrow night. Ryan Butcher could fall out of the top 12 in the standings. Some drivers that we'll be keeping an eye on during the course of tomorrow night. I saw him out on track, see if we can find him again. Would be the 44 of Reese Banks. Now, Banks was actually in line to have a back-to-back poor performance at both Gateway and last week at Chatham Dirt. He got involved in an early wreck, had back-end damage, but actually played strategy to gain track position and finished pretty decently. Because of that, he's not in as bad of a situation as he could have been. He has a total of 12 points below the cut line, 16th of the 17 playoff contenders. The driver right now that is the furthest down in the standings is this guy right here, Dylan Young. Dylan is currently 17th of the 17 playoff drivers, and he has a total of 15 points below the cut line. So he needs a good run here tomorrow night. Now, the one thing that might be going in Dylan Young's favor is the fact that we have only been to Nashville Superspeedway one other time. That was last year when it made its debut on the schedule, and it was his teammate, RJ Bishop, who led the most laps and went coast-to-coast pole to win at this very venue. So with that maybe prior experience, maybe a little bit of strategy notebook that young motorsports drivers are going to be able to utilize here, see if that could help Dylan Young to advance his way into the round of 12. The other drivers coming into this race that are below the cut line, 12th in the standings would include Dylan Young's teammate Destin Bolin. Bolin is -3 below the 12th in the standings cut line. Two-time winner Jessica Shelton is 7 points below the cut line. And three-time winner James Qualls is a total of 8 points below the cut line. But with only 15 points separating 12th down through 17th, easily a driver can mathematically work their way up in points to advance into the top 12. We know that at the very least, we're going to have 10 drivers making their way into the next round on points. If we end up having a non-playoff driver go to victory lane tomorrow evening, then 11 drivers will race their way in via points. The only driver that's in right now via win is Matthew Rodriguez from his Gateway victory a couple of weeks ago. We're looking at Caleb Fogler, who right now is in the Fast 10. He is the second highest running of the playoff drivers on the speed charts, only to Ryan Butcher, who is right now in 4th. Caleb Fogler is 9th in the standings, only a meager 5 points ahead of the cut line. We talked about Ryan Butcher. He is the highest in the points of the playoff drivers that has not won his way into the postseason yet. 32 points ahead of the cut line. So mathematically, Ryan Butcher tomorrow night only has to make sure that he finishes inside of the top 25, and he will advance. There's Jessica Shelton. Kyler Sustre knows he'll be racing this weekend. He's missed the last few races. 6 starts he has failed to make. And with there only being 42 drivers, and he and the car just a couple ahead of him, Reggie Fogelman being the only 2 non-charter drivers attempting to qualify this week, both of them know that they will make the show. Fogelman, after moving over there to the 80 for these few races here down the home stretch of the season at Haas Racing, he's been really good in qualifying, but not so here at Nashville Superspeedway. Right now he is dead last on the charts at a 31.209. He knows he's locked into the field though. But with what I just mentioned about RJ Bishop leading the most laps and going pole to win one season ago, I feel like track position is going to be very, very important in tomorrow night's race. And we'll get a taste of that here later on tonight with the Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers. This is the, I believe, 4th of 5 races that Fogelman's going to be running in this number 80 car. The last race that he's scheduled to run will be next week when we begin the round of 12 at Hillside. Hillside, Canadian Tire, and Arizona. The 3 tracks that we're going to for the second round of the playoffs. Looking at Jessica Shelton, the Project Dodge Intrepid. We already documented about her being below the cut line by 7 points. Right now she is 26th on the board. Zach Rogers, decent outing last week, gained 7 spots in the playoff standings, was below the cut line, now above the cut line. 8th in overall points, 8 points to the good above the said cut line, and he is the fastest car in Nashville Superspeedway right now. 30.523 for the driver out of Evans Motorsports. Dylan Pote right now sits 28th. He is 11th in the points, only 1 point to the good. I mean, it is super close. There's a lot of drivers that are just barely above that cut line. We mentioned Rogers is only plus 8. Caleb Fogler is only plus 5. Will Goss is only plus 4. And Poteet is only plus 1. So there are a lot of drivers that easily, depending on what happens tomorrow night, could find themselves below the cut line if they have a bad points-paying day. Matthew Rodriguez there, you see coming to pit road, 32nd on the board. He's the only driver that absolutely knows he's moving on to the next round. Everybody else, it's a big question mark, and it all is going to come down to math. Connor Breton, 3-time winner, coming to pit road. 11 points ahead of the cut line for Breton, 7th in overall standings. We're looking at Destin Bolin, who is the first driver out of the top 12 right now, -3. He's 14th on the board. Jesse Turner, currently 5th in overall standings, gained 9 spots in the playoff points last week. He's actually in a tie for 4th overall in the standings points-wise between himself and Matthew Rodriguez. Rodriguez, we know, is already advanced. Jesse Turner is 19 points to the good above the cut line coming into this race. There's our winner from 1 year ago, RJ Bishop. Led 69 laps last year, which was very, very nice. RJ was a 2-time winner last season. Still looking for that first victory here of Season 7. It's been a struggling year for him. 29th in overall points, 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, an average finishing position of around 21st. And trying to break into victory lane as his teammates Will Goss and Dylan Young have been able to do. James Qualls, 3-time winner on the season. Kind of felt that he would be one of the top 3, if not the strongest car coming into these playoffs, but last week was not good for him. He dropped from being the cut line driver, 12th in the standings, to now 15th. But again, as we documented, he's very close to that cut line, only 3 points behind. A good run tomorrow night could put him advancing into the round of 12. Right now, though, trying to find a little bit more speed as he sits 39th on the board. There's our winner from last week at Chatham Dirt. Michael Norman finally breaking into the win column here after being a 3-time winner last year. Non-playoff contender, so he basically made it that we were going to have at very least 10 drivers advancing into the round of 12 via points, maybe even 11, depending on what happens tomorrow night. And there's the defending champ Charles Sanford, just trying to finish out the season with a victory, as he did not make it into the postseason to defend his title. He's 8th on the board right now, chance to run for the pole here in about a little more than 4 minutes. Reese Banks right now 21st on the board in the Aldo's Pizza Ford Mustang. There's Keith Batson, 2nd currently in the playoff standings. Only 7 points behind Ryan Butcher for the points lead, but more importantly, 25 points above the cut line coming into this one. Looks like he's also going to suffer from poor starting track position unless he finds something here in these final 3 3/4 minutes, as we're 3 wide with him, McIntyre, and Moore. But Batson currently sits 41st on the board at a 31.084. Austin LaPlante, 24th on the speed charts right now for the Quaker State Chevrolet. Austin coming into this one, the cut line driver, 12th in the standings. So he is in a very precipitous area tomorrow night. Going to need a good run and going to have to stay ahead of those drivers that are behind him in the standings to advance into the round of 12. There's Matthew Rodriguez looking for his series-leading 4th win on the year. Right now a 4-way tie with 3 wins between himself, Casey Hoyt, Connor Breton, and James Qualls. Rodriguez just jumped from 35th to 18th. Net gain of 17 spots right there with a 30.846. I was going to say he was going to start pretty deep in the field, but now he'll start around mid-pack with that lap time he just laid down. Casey Hoyt, 3-time winner, 13th right now for the driver out of Lake Effect Autosport. Casey Hoyt, 6th in overall points, 17 points to the good above the cut line. Trying to look and see if we've documented all our playoff contenders. Ryan Butcher's now up to 5th. There's Rob Evans, our regular season champion. Right now he is 12th on the speed charts in the Tire Pros Chevrolet. Evans coming into this one 3rd in the overall points, 21 points to the good above the cut line. And there's 2-time winner Will Goss, right now 21st for the NordVPN Menards Ford Mustang. Will coming into this one above the cut line, but only by 4 points as he is 10th in overall standings. Dylan and Dylan show here. Poteet 32nd. Dylan Young not much better, 28th. And still the fastest car on the racetrack right now is Zach Rogers, 30.523 for Zach Rogers. We're going to focus our camera here in this final minute and a half on the 4 of Kyler Sustre, because right now he is the cut line driver, 10th on the board of those looking to advance to run for the pole. Zach Rogers, the current fastest driver, followed by Benjamin Miles. Playoff contender Caleb Fogler slots in third. Carson Gumm in fourth. Another playoff driver in Ryan Butcher is fifth. Then the rest of the top 10 are completed by non-playoff contenders in Nathan Ormond, Nick Gunther, Charles Sanford, Ryan Brommer, and Kyler Sustre, a 30.736. The lap time everyone below 10th is gunning for to advance into the upcoming second and final round. We had 5 playoff contenders advance into the Fast 10 2 weeks ago at Gateway. Only 2 advanced into the Fast 10 last week at Chatham Dirt. And as things stand right now, we will only have 2 playoff contenders advancing into the Fast 10 here at Nashville Super Speedway, that being Fogler and Butcher. Some other drivers, though, going to have some pretty decent starting track position if they are going to finish where they're currently at. 11th through 14th, all playoff drivers. Connor Breeden, Rob Evans, Casey Hoyt, and Destin Bolin. Matthew Rodriguez right now is 18th, Will Goss 21st, Austin LaPlante 25th, Dylan Young 28th, Jessica Shelton is 30th, Jesse Turner 31st, Dylan Poteet in 32nd, and then all the way down in 40th is where you find James Qualls and 41st Keith Batson. Those two really going to be lacking in terms of starting track position here tomorrow night. Zero's on the clock. Looks like Kyler Sustre is going to hold down that final 10th position to advance into the next round. And how about Zach Rogers? We can find him here. He might be on pit road, actually. There he is. Rogers going to clock in as the fastest here in round 1. He'll look to show that same speed in round 2 as Zero's on the clock. Session is complete. Let's take a look at who's going to start where from 11th on down. We already documented about 4 playoff contenders just on the outside looking in there. And all the playoff drivers that we listed off just moments ago, they did not improve or fall from the spots that we documented. So that's where they will all be starting for this race. Going to be interesting with the fact that Austin LaPlante is the cut line driver. He's starting a little bit further back than mid-pack, 25th position. So the point standings, we don't have a live counter for the point standings, but it would be interesting to see going into the race with where everybody qualified, who would be above, who would be below said cut line. I'm not seeing anybody really by leaps and bounds that was below him in the standings have a super good qualifying effort, with the exception of maybe Destin Bolin. Shelton going to be starting pretty far back. Qualls we know is starting far back. Reese Banks, Dylan Young, all starting pretty far back. So Destin Bolin, I think, might be the only driver right now, when we take the green flag, that LaPlante would have to worry about potentially moving in and moving LaPlante out. But also remember, too, for any of our playoff contenders, especially those below the cut line, a win and you advance, and the cut line shifts down a spot. So that is something we'll have to keep an eye on as well. But Zach Rogers, along with Benjamin Miles, Caleb Fogler, Carson Gumm, Ryan Butcher, Nathan Norman, Nick Gunther, Charles Sanford, Ryan Brommer, and Kyler Sustre, 8 non-playoff drivers, 2 playoff drivers are ready to run for the pole position for tomorrow night's race here from Nashville Super Speedway. We'll step aside for a quick race break and be back for the final round of qualifying with our Fast 10 in just a moment. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support, and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast. Green flag waves here for our final session of the night for qualifying for tomorrow evening's race here from Nashville Super Speedway. Our Fast 10 ready to run for the pole. Ryan Butcher looking for his third pole on the season. One of two playoff contenders that have advanced here into this round of 10. And Caleb Fogler, the other one, is looking for his first pole of the season. Only 5 minutes on the clock, and almost a full minute of that is gone. Nashville Superspeedway, though, is a very abrasive track on the tires, so you're probably only going to get one or two really good laps. So these drivers, I think, are just trying to wait until the very last minute, though, to be honest, I kind of feel like you'd want to go out there first when the track is clear. I know these drivers would like to be able to rely on a draft lap if possible. We've seen in the past that has been one of the key factors into having a fast lap time to be able to capture either the inside or the outside of the front row, but I don't know. Don't know in this case which would be more important. Kyler Sustre, who was 10th of the drivers that advanced, heading out onto the track, and it saw Ryan Butcher coming out not too far behind him there as well in the Popeyes Toyota. So Sustre will be the first one to put down an official lap time here in this final round of qualifying. Of the other drivers that advanced here into this round, Charles Sanford is looking for his fourth pole on the season. And Kyler Sustre, Nathan Ormond are both looking for their second. All the other drivers are looking for their first pole on the year. Zach Rogers, Benjamin Miles, Carson Gum, Nick Gunther, and Ryan Brommer. As a 30.875 is the first official lap time put down this session by Sustre. And that is about 4/100ths faster than what Ryan Butcher was able to just lay down, 30.919. Less than 2.5 minutes to go here, and let's see if there's an improvement here for Sustre. There is, by a full tenth. An 8.75 to a 7.75. 7.95 for Ryan Butcher, so he is literally 200ths off of Kyler Sustre, and now he's dropping down the order. Somebody just jumped up there. It's Zach Rogers, fastest in round 1, now fastest at this point in round 2, 30.637 for Zach Rogers. Remember, too, this is with 10 cars out on the racetrack. The speeds before were with 42 drivers out there. Rogers is literally only about a tenth off. Somebody just knocked him down to second place, though, and he'll take the lead back at a 30.570. Not sure who it was that knocked him off of the top of the leaderboard moments ago, but he's taken the spot back. Looks like it was Ryan Butcher. And Butcher does not improve that time. Actually, about a tenth and a half slower. Let's see if Zach Rogers improves. He's got a nice toe maybe off of Caleb Fogler. And, oh, he did. Oh, my gosh. Rogers just ran a 30.475. His fastest lap in round 1 was a 30.523. He just obliterated that lap time. Charles Sanford just clocked in second at a 30.567. But that is about 900ths off of Rogers' lap time. And let's see if Rogers improves again. If he hits a mid-4. No, that time's slower. So the tire wear is coming to play. Let's see if Sanford improves. Nope, he was a tick slower than his fastest lap time, a 5.89 to his 5.67. That might be it. The tires might have worn down here. Nathan Ormond just clocked in at 5th, 30.672. Nick Gunther is 4th at a 6.62. Kyler Sustre right now 8th at a 7.30, which he was just a tick slower that last lap on. 3rd place right now, Ryan Butcher at a 5.81. Carson Gunn with a 7.28 has him 7th. Benjamin Miles, who was 2nd fastest in round 1, is currently the slowest in round 2 at an 8.81. And Caleb Fogler just took the 5th position there. He just ran his fastest lap at a 30.669. But Zach Rogers, nobody I don't think is going to be able to touch that 30.475. He can't even touch it here in these final 2 or 3 laps that he just ran. Zach Rogers, fastest in round 1, fastest in round 2. Playoff contender, going to run for the pole. Actually, did I say there were only 2 playoff drivers that advanced into this second round? I apologize. There were actually 3, Rogers, Fogler, and Butcher. So that's a fail on my part. Apologies on that. And we are going to have a playoff contender, it looks like, lead us to the green tomorrow night here at Nashville Superspeedway. I was going to say, looked like the times had ceased to be scored. And finally, the session is concluded, and here's the way they're going to line up for tomorrow night's race. The 3 playoff contenders that advance will all start inside of the top 5, all on the inside row. Rogers, Butcher, and Fogler on the inside line of rows 1, 2, and 3 for tomorrow night's event. Remember, it's a win and you're in situation for those drivers, and they'd love to be able to take a checkered flag here in about 24 hours. Charles Sanford is going to share the front row with Rogers, so Chevrolet Bowties sweep row number 1. Ryan Butcher's Toyota and Nick Gunther's Mazda going to be in row number 2, with Caleb Fogler and Nathan Orman's Fords in row 3. Carson Gum, Kyler Sestre will be row 4, and Ryan Brommer, Benjamin Miles are going to complete the top 10 for tomorrow night's starting lineup. Well, 1 season ago, RJ Bishop was able to go coast to coast, pole to win. Zach Rogers hoping lightning strikes twice as he looks to win his way into the next round of the playoffs and get his 2nd win on the season as well. Will that be the case? You have to tune in tomorrow night and find out. But if you want to see some more racing here from Nashville Superspeedway, immediately following this, you've got the Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers taking to the racetrack as they're nearing the end of their season championship hanging in the balance, and might give us a bit of a precursor of what to expect for tomorrow night's Cup Series race. But if you enjoyed this qualifying session, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, part of the crew today, and we'll see you guys either later on here tonight or tomorrow night, depending on when you tune in as we continue on our weekend from Nashville Superspeedway. Zach Rogers is your pole sitter. We'll see you guys later. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.